Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about logo design, and I actually have a great friend, Will Paterson, who's one of the most tremendous logo designers I think I've ever seen. Logo design can be especially challenging for new designers, so Will's going to share with us his top 5 tips for logo design, and I think you guys are going to find it super helpful.
Hello, my name is Will Paterson. I'm a letterer, a YouTuber, and a logo designer, and here is my video on the 5 best tips for logo design. Number 1, always start on paper. Since people have started using their creative and artistic abilities on the computer, we have mainly stuck towards that medium. And I think a lot of us have lost our ability to draw out ideas on plain paper. I guess people think that it's easy just creating it on the computer, but let me tell you this, when you're drawing on paper, you're actually limiting the tools that you can use to create this logo design, which means that you'll have to go for simple shapes. Even if you've got the idea already in your head, drawing it down on a piece of scrap paper with a pen and a pencil will mean that you'll have the idea physically in front of you for you to see. You also don't have to worry about any of the distractions within Illustrator with any of the tools. You're just using pencil and paper. When you do this, you'll come up with newer and better ideas than you did prior to that one because you're only using pencil and paper. You don't have to be an artist to do this. You just have to be able to draw on a piece of paper. There's web designers that will draw their plan on a piece of paper first. People who are creating a layout or a business card will always draw on paper first, just because it's easier and you're getting a bit more of that natural effect to what you're doing. Tip number 2, design your logo in black and white. This is a controversial tip. I think a lot of people now think that color is very key to the logo, but I would suggest that color is very key to the branding of the company rather than the logo itself. If you were to take the company Orange, which was a telecoms communication company, and take the orange out of the logo, you'd still recognize that logo. So it doesn't really have a huge part to play with the logo design all the time. But when you have a company like Google and their logo, it has a major part to play, and it just really depends on what side you're on. But as a general rule of practice, I always suggest creating a logo without using colors first, so you can get the simple shapes out there first. I always start with black and I carry on until I feel comfortable adding color. Otherwise, I just get distracted and start using color as the front man of what I'm doing. If I design it with color at first, I may be too focused on the color rather than the actual vector itself. Designing in black and white always means that people will every time be able to identify and see that logo, whether it's in full color or black and white in the newspaper. Tip number 3, don't expect to get it the first time. By this, I mean don't expect to make the best logo design the first time you start creating it. We live in an instant generation where everything is at the tip of our fingertips and one click and a second away. So it is frustrating for a lot of us when we're creating something that we don't create it very quickly. But the whole idea of logo design is that it's a trial and error process. When you're generating on paper the ideas for a logo design, just a quick rough sketches, then it may take a few days of work to actually come up with a solid concept for that company. Till then, it just takes a lot of sketching and a lot of looking at the logo to actually work out whether it works functionally with the company. But if you are a little bit demotivated from doing this, then spend some time getting inspiration online and in some books and remain confident in what you're doing. Just know that this process is working and your brain is working at its full capacity. Just go easy on yourself and you'll see that the logo will come in time. The last tip, number 5, change your routine. If you're a creative person, you'll often find that you'll be stuck in little ruts in your brain where you just feel like you have this creative block. I get this a lot of the time when I'm designing logos, and I speak to a lot of other logo designers and they feel the same way. They just don't know how to proceed when they're designing these letters or these logos. What I've learned to do in these situations is to change my routine in what I'm doing at that day to get a different result. A lot of people don't like the change in routine, but when you're working with something and you feel like you're just stuck, it's important to change or turn up something that you're actually doing so that you can get a different perspective. This could mean that you have lunch somewhere else. This means that you should work in a different environment. For a lot of the time, I'll work in a coffee shop or I'll work downstairs in this house just to get a different feel, so I get different ideas. You could go for a walk or a bike ride if you just feel like you're about to explode, and that normally helps with your brain, and it also gives you a bit of downtime so you can think of different ideas too. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'm Will Paterson, and I'll catch you later.
Thanks so much for coming on the channel, Will. You know, Will is a good friend of mine. We've only ever met through the internet because he's over in the UK. I'd love to meet him in person one day, but we talk a lot. I think we're in communication every single week, and you know, we've been friends for a long time, and Will has a very popular YouTube channel. There is a link in the annotation up here and in the description below. You should definitely check him out if you want to learn about logo design, hand lettering, freelancing. Will has a tremendous wealth of knowledge. He's also got a course over on Udemy, and I would highly encourage you to check it out if logo design happens to be your forte. Will's someone I've been wanting to bring on the channel for a long time to share with you guys, but I also want to know if there are other designers that you would love for me to showcase and feature here on the channel, either with collaborations or interviews. Do you want me to try and interview somebody like Aaron Draplin? Do you want to see my good friend Sean Barry or Stephen Looney here on the channel? Let me know in the comment section. Also, tell me this. If you are a logo designer, what is your biggest struggle right now? Is it the actual process of your artwork, or is it finding qualified clients, or is it getting paid once you've done the work? Let me know what you're struggling with in the comment section. Will and I and whoever else will try and help you out with that. Remember, I do graphic design videos on Mondays, so go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to check those out. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.